How many more projects do you still have going on? So it's hard to say. We looked earlier on stream, and I think I counted 26 projects that I have that are current whips. But I had 4 projects on the go before May, and I've started projects since May. I would say like maybe 20 of the ones that I started in May I'm still doing. Let's look. I have a spreadsheet. If you love hobby spreadsheets, I'm going to show you this entire spreadsheet then, and not just the list. Okay, so this is, or a big project spreadsheet if you don't consider this, same difference. I consider this a hobby. So this is the running amount of hours that I've stitched every year since 2004 when I started keeping track. How many days I stitched each year. The average hours per month, or the average hours a day. So like we took the hours that I stitched in the day, we divided it by 366 because I think this was a leap year. So it was an average of 5 hours a day. And then this is the average of the days I actually stitched. So over the 228 days, I stitched an average of 7.25 hours a day. And then this is how many projects I finished that year. And then we have our running total. So since 2004, I've stitched 6,580 hours and 1,598 days. And then over here, we have like a running average of all of these things we've already done, but for all time. So for all time, I have an average of 365 hours a year. 88.75 days a year. For an average of 1 stitching hour a day, or 4 stitching hours for every day that I actually stitched. And then here we have notes for like why so few or why so many. So like I had a lot of projects going on for a few years, and then in 2018 I started streaming, and so I started streaming my cross stitch. So anyway, that's sheet 1. So now you're wondering, where do we get all this information from? So I'll show you, well, this is 2022. There's nothing there yet because today's our first day. So let's go to 2021. So every day that I stitch, yes, it's only the first sheet. So then down below, there's like a sheet for each year since I made the spreadsheet, because I used to do it all by hand. But in 2020, I made this spreadsheet, and then I did like 2019 just so that I could make sure it was all working right. So now we have 1 tab for every year. So for every year, this is like my daily thing. Every day I stitch, I come in and I put in how many hours I stitched that day. And then it does this like stats for every month. It does the stats for every month. This is kind of insane now that I'm talking about it. And then this part of the spreadsheet here is where it pulls to do like the stats from the main page. And then yesterday, I went in and added this third part to the spreadsheet. Not insane at all. This is so cool. I'm glad that you are also a stats geek. So this part of the spreadsheet is new. I did this yesterday when I was doing my stats for the year. And I was like, I wonder how many projects I finished. How about we add it to the spreadsheet? So that's when I added this column of the pieces finished. So I went through and I counted everything up for those years. Yeah. So this is 2021. And then if I don't have the piece anymore, I say where the piece was. Did I sell it? Did I give it away? Whatever. So that's that. And then this other part used to be in a separate spreadsheet, and I'm like a separate complete file. And I'm like, why isn't it all in the same file? So this is my project list of what I actually working on right now. So we have 3 that we started before. Oh, you know what? This doesn't say which ones I started during Stitch Mania. I can still figure this out. And then this spreadsheet is all the threads I need for each of my whips that are not kits. So the ones that I had to kit up myself. Well, okay, but I have it recorded somewhere else. But it could be another column. You're not wrong. So this spreadsheet has all the projects that I had to kit up myself and all the colors they use so that I knew which ones I already had pulled. Because I actually have the threads for all of the projects all together. I have 2 of these boxes, and they have all the threads I need for all of the projects that I'm working on right now. And so when I finish a project, then I take them all away and I see if I can put the color back in my stash. Right, so like when I finish this Paris design, I'll go and I'll be like, okay, we don't need this one anymore. And, oh, but we still need it for other designs, so I have to keep it. And then, but if this went to 0 over here on this column here, then I'd be like, oh, we don't need it for any more projects. I can pull that thread and put it back where it's supposed to go. Thank you for following Maximum Yarnage. I like that name. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then there's another tab here, but it's not really for cross stitch. It's just, I started making these friendship bracelets and I created these I created these patterns for them and I saved them. Okay, so thank you for following, Sarah. But we can still answer this other question because I have a Trello board for all of my whips and things I have kitted up. So, stage 2 of organization is this Trello board, which I made a couple months ago. Last month, I think. So we have everything that I'm in the process of kitting up over here. And what's one I just added? Mermaid of the Pearls. So I'm partially kitting it up. So I'm like, okay, you need to buy the treasures. I got those. I need to buy the beads. I got those. These are all the other sort of categories of things I need to buy for this. I don't have like the actual materials list because whatever. I just need to buy the specialty threads. And then I'll go and figure out what specialty threads that I need. Oh, I have to tell this not to save. And then this column is everything that I have fully kitted and ready to go, either because they're already kits or because I've actually kitted them up. And then this column, is if you look in the channel points for this channel, I have one that costs 10,000 channel points, and you can make me start a new project. So funny, I just bought an 8-column notebook to keep track of my stuff. I'm old. It never dawned on me to do it on the computer. I mean, I've been doing it by paper for years, decades, as you could see in the spreadsheet, because I started in 2004, and I only made that spreadsheet in 2020. So I was doing it all by hand before that as well. Yeah, definitely, whatever works, right? So I have a 10,000 points redemption, and if you redeem it, then you make me start a new project on my next cross-stitching stream, and I will give you a choice of 3 projects, and you can pick from those 3. And so this column here are those 3 projects that, like, if someone redeemed it right now, these are the options that I would give them. But this Trello board is public. And as long as whatever you pick is completely kitted, I will do whatever. So, like, I would give you these 3 options, but you're like, I happen to know that you have a garden bunny ornament fully kitted and ready to go. I actually want you to do the garden bunny ornament instead. Then I would do that because at least I have the full kit for it. It's ready to go. And over here, finally, we have my works in progress. And then as I finish them, I'll drag them over into this column. But obviously it's the first day. I haven't finished anything yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I started this in May, but in May of 2004. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 of the 31 projects I started in May, I'm still doing. I should like offer the whole cross stitch thing as like a digital download or something like that. Would people be interested in that? Like if I offered that and like sold it on my store? And then 1, 2, I think I counted this earlier and it was 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 works in progress in total.